ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another One Piece manga review. This is chapter 1109. Sorry about 1108. We had a great review for it, but our audio and video got corrupted. But we are here for 1109. Joining me as always, we got Jazz and Verson. I'll start with Jazz this week. Jazz, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. It's calm before the storm, and by I mean that it's the cool before the heat. So we
Facts.
about to transition right into summer. It's gonna be
Facts.
horrible.
It's gonna be miserable in Louisiana, so I'm enjoying it right now, my damn self. How you doing, Verson, brother?
It's been the weather's been the only nice thing about this week for the most part, but it has been nice weather. So
It's been great. So that's the positive. Hang our hats on. But we're here reviewing One Piece chapter 1109. Gonna do the brief summary of the chapter, and then we'll dive into it because it is very important. So the chapter starts off right where 1108 leaves off, with Vegapunk starting to tell his message. However, there's a catch. Vegapunk says for everyone to get all of the broadcasts around the world is going to take them 10 minutes. We then see Luffy still holding Kizaru and Saturn. It then cuts to some of the Giants versus the Marines. The Giants are handling business. Sanji's asking Vegapunk if he's alive. You're talking. Vegapunk's not talking. And then it cuts to Marijois and the Gorosei are like, Saturn, what the hell's going on? How is this shit happening? Saturn's like, no, Vegapunk's dead. They're like, we got to stop this at all costs. We got to cut the feed. We then go around the world to Dressrosa, to the East Blue, to Water 7. We see all of our familiar faces saying, damn, we want to see this shit. Morgan's like, hold on, nah, this shit's going on. Northwest, South Blue, it's all going down. Everybody's like, we need to see this. We then cut to the revolutionaries with Hurt My Fucking Heart. That dragon is watching, sitting in Kamabaka Kingdom, baby, enjoying a good beer, watching this fucking shit take off. Meanwhile, his son is fighting Kizaru, and fucking Saturn hits him with the dawn symbols, kicking their fucking ass. Kizaru goes flying into the ship, but Saturn boomerangs his way back, and Luffy's like, damn, what the fuck? How come I'm not damaging you? And then Saturn's like, yeah, this shit's going down. The Gorosei is like, oh no, we're coming. Saturn helps summon all of them there. And now we see the 5 elders arriving at Egghead with Sanji and Luffy like, holy shit, it's going down. They're gonna need the Vikings. Somebody gotta come help at this point. This is crazy. All right, let's start off, fellas. Where do y'all want to begin? I guess we should just begin the beginning with Vegapunk's message. I am a little sad.
Hold on. Can we jump just real quick? Because I know nothing's happened yet. Can we take a moment? Because I've seen no one talk about it, about the possible cover story we're about to have.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
because this could be some real ass shit.
Go ahead.
So as we can see, Onigashima has been sunk. It's down in the water, same place as that old ancient city was that we saw, that was one Pluton.
Where Pluton is.
We're seeing, as we can see, the symbol of Kaido, the big giant skull with the giant, the giant samurai sword we were really hoping Kid would use and then he never did. But anyway, what do you guys think? Like, besides looking like a dope ass aquarium, what are we about to see here? Because it could be the return
of Kaido and Big Mom. I saw people say
return, but also retirement. I will say this: I do not think they're gonna ever be what they are again, but I could see it being the return.
Yeah, I would love to see like a little it would play out like a buddy cop film.
See, I'm gonna be negative Nancy, because if they come, I don't feel like they're gonna just chill. Like, I don't feel like those two specifically can come and just be like, yeah, we'll just live in the world now. Fuck this shit. I don't know who we're gonna see. Like, it could be Sukiyaki, but like, why is he back down there? It could be Momo and Yamato because Sukiyaki told them that was there. I'm expecting, if I had to place money on it, I'm expecting Momo and Yamato, a conversation between them about what's going on.
But down there? Or do you mean just talking about it?
No, I think because Sukiyaki tells them about the thing, I think like, we're not going to see, I don't think we're going to be on the outside of it. I think we could go inside and see them walking by the Poneglyph, and then.
But it's underwater. Well, I mean, they got that one chamber, but how are they?
Yeah, the part where I think this is just showing the outside. I don't think we're going to be in that out on the outside the whole time. I think this is just like there, and then we zoom into that area where Sukiyaki was.
So, I mean, assuming that's the case, what do you think? This is how we're going to get Pluton news? Because that's a little shaky for a cover story.
Actually, can I say
go
what
ahead.
I think? Can I say
go ahead? Yeah.
So you know how like when we got the whole cake story in the middle of like Wano, like kind of before Onigashima, and that was canon.
Like,
the Germa brothers the Germa brothers' escape kind of led into Pudding being
Yeah.
captured. So it was
Mhm.
like it was one plot point that went to another. So I'm saying like with the cover stories kind of being concurrent with the story, like how we saw Kuzan and Van Augur kidnap Pudding. I
Mhm.
feel like the reason we're getting this cover story now is because it's already been set up with Caribou. So maybe that knowledge will be relayed. And while the Egghead incident is going on, like, I'm not saying it might happen during the cover story, but I mean, we might see the Blackbeard pirates actually lead up to Wano. And then maybe this is just speculation. Maybe the last cover story would be like Blackbeard doing a tremor quake and breaking the breaking like like the borders of Wano instead of Zunisha doing it because Caribou would tell him that's where Pluton is. I mean, that's just a theory.
But-
I mean,
No, for
Yeah,
sure.
could
I'm not
evolve
opposed to that,
into
but that's happening so fast.
That would be
Yeah,
that would be
like
that would be concurrent. That would be
timeline-wise,
future.
Yeah, like
Because you got to think Caribou, Van Augur, and
Gotta
Davon
get
are
off the island.
technically still on Egghead. Like they're
Mhm.
not. I don't think they're on their ship yet. Like I think they're walking to their ship, but they would still have to get to their ship, leave Egghead, and then get to Fuller Lead before any of that could happen.
unless the boy
That's true.
Lafitte finds a way to
To
steal
do it, yeah.
Pluton by himself.
You know,
Well,
it could be.
I
That
mean,
could be where he is.
at this point, he might.
But my thing
Dude,
is,
it would be
this
very
is-
funny if Lafitte was in Wano right now, like
I-
sipping. And
I
eating
think this is
some
going to be
ramen.
some Momo and Yamato discussing down there for figuring out that Pluton is there and them talking about releasing it type shit or getting it ready for whatever they need to, if they're going to use it or having a conversation of should they use it type
See,
situation.
I'm not opposed to that, but I think there are other ways they would have denoted that other than us staring at fucking Kaido's big, giant, massive dead head.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it's the island. It's not his head.
I mean, I know, but it's his symbol.
Yeah, his spot.
He moved the whole bitch. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
also
Like,
they like just kind of
face.
moved it
This
here.
is-
So like
It could
what
just
about
be it could just be showing it's down there type situation. But I don't want it to be Kaido and Big Mom. That's the one thing. Like, if it's them, I want to see them floating underwater. I do not want to see them doing anything.
like I don't know. I think Kaido and Big Mom are basically our new Buggy cover story, where they're like the wacky adventures of the guys who got their ass waxed by Luffy.
See, okay, Buggy is
I wouldn't mind that.
Buggy is a clown. Like y'all's
Yeah, and
man
guess
can,
what?
can
And
do
Kaido
that
is
shit.
happy now that Joy Boy's here. I don't think he's peeping anymore.
Yeah.
He said, I am the gate until Joy Boy shows up. Guess what? Joy Boy showed up. And now
maybe
he's
maybe
content.
guy. Look, I cannot see Dragon Man and Big Mom just. Oh yeah, we're drinking beers together, having a good time. No,
I
sir.
think it would be excellent. That's why for years my theory was they exploded out of that volcano and crash landed on an island with a single coconut tree.
This is not an island. This is them niggas underwater. I would,
I know,
what?
but
If it was,
leads up to that,
if
I
they
don't know.
were stranded, I would prefer that. Then nah, bro. I'm not. If that happens, I'll tip my cap to you.
All right.
But I cannot buy that
I
Kaido
think
and
somehow,
Big
some
Mom
way,
are
this is
chilling.
eventually leading to Kaido and Big Mom chilling. I don't necessarily need to know the specifics of how they're chilling or why they're
Yeah, yeah.
chilling. But I
Talk
think
about
that's what it's
talk about fraud. Kaido was already being called a fraud. If that man
You
leaves
loose with
and
that
goes
word.
chill somewhere drinking coconut mai tais, brother, you were never the world's strongest. Go
for the
enjoy
last,
your coconut
what are
mai
you,
tais.
yes, he was. Wow, what are we talking?
That's crazy.
Oh, okay, so
so
Lin,
we
so-
saying the world's
so
strongest
Lin-
can't take a break? This is crazy.
No,
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 what I'm hearing
Kaido
is
can't
Lin
take a
saying-
break. Fuck no. You make
Okay,
one move.
but Mihawk takes breaks all the
No,
time.
but
so I don't
let me.
think-
Wano
No, I'm
daily. He's a
gonna give you
wino.
this. I'm gonna give you this because I was
Wano
waiting
and
for that.
Wano.
My man Kaido said, I'm gonna make my move finally. Nigga waited 40 years to lose, and then you said, oh, well, I gave it one attempt. I'm just gonna chill now. Fuck no. Big Mom, your dream of having a fucking world that's racist free, hey, that shit ain't happened yet. What y'all doing? Y'all just saying, fuck it, we chilling? Big
Dude,
Mom, your
the-
family
I
getting
wait,
frozen
Lin,
by
the
our
final-
operation.
Kaido's whole operation got blown up by Luffy.
Well, restart, my nigga, restart. You
Another
Kaido.
40 years?
It's not. It shouldn't take you 40 years. It shouldn't take him 40 years. It should take
Dude,
him.
before he had Wano, he doesn't have Wano no more.
You don't need
Wano and
He
Wano.
don't
doesn't
even
have
have his
Orochi.
son no more.
You don't need Wano. You don't need your son. You got you and Big Mom. Go back to Whole Cake, recover what you can, and start building up again. Get Katakuri
Whole
and
Cake-
let's roll.
So you
Whole
want
Cake
to,
look
so
like
you
the
want him
Ice
to
Age,
do
bro. I
neo
don't know.
mads and not like hang out. Listen, Lynn,
Fuck
what I'm
hanging
hearing is
out.
that you're-
Neo, let's roll. Let's
Lynn,
roll.
what I'm hearing you is you're saying that LeBron has to die in the court. that if LeBron James ever retires,
No,
Damn,
it was
that's
never
that's
the best.
different. That's different. That's different. No, Kaido's that LeBron James put up. No, LeBron James tried for multiple years. This nigga was just chilling. No, Kaido, get to work, bitch.
I don't know. I think we have different definitions of chill. Like,
Big Mom, get to
Dude,
work, bitch. Y'all gotta
Lynn's
get
the
to
type.
work.
Lynn's the type of guy who would work on a vacation, and I can't respect that.
No,
when it's
I work on
vacation time, it's a
vacation.
vacation.
But like, he had vacation time, nigga. You been chilling. Get off your ass and get to work.
All right, fine. I guess we'll see. I don't know. Just for the record, I think my view of things is a much healthier way to do it. I respect the meatheadness.
I would much rather that be my man Momo and Yamato doing a talk and strategizing type shit as being the Shogun and then like his right hand man.
To your point, then, do you think this somehow ends with Pluton going
escaping,
not like out of Zelda? You know.
Now, see, to Jazz's point about at the end of this, it escaping. I think Jazz is onto something there. I don't know if it's Blackbeard, but I think it could be through Momo and Yamato type situation where like they're getting it ready. Like,
yeah, I don't
know if it goes out. I don't know if it like is out in like the main. Like, I think it could be them making plans to like, oh, this is what, like, if Momo figures out this is what we need to open the borders for, they start having that, because like they were supposed to open the borders then, but they didn't, and Momo didn't know. He just intrinsically knew not to do it. He didn't know why. Now this could be the explanation for why he didn't, and he could discuss
and maybe that
when he opens it.
Maybe that could even coincide with like, you know, Vegapunk saying whatever
his message. Yeah, it could. So like, to your point of story being concurrent,
it just feels like he could see it. Feels like not enough time in between for me. But then we're in the final saga, so timelines are getting rushed. Because it feels like, all right, well, it's only been like 2 weeks. I feel like a 2-week change doesn't really, you know what I mean? Like, you could have just done it.
He could,
if you were just gonna wait 2 weeks to do it.
But
like,
no, for sure,
Zunisha's ass had to walk all the way back, and now
hey, look, he had to walk.
To free it, Zunisha will have to come back if it's not someone like Blackbeard doing it.
Zunisha, so get your walk on, brother.
Yeah, Zunisha, spin the block.
Spin the block, but they don't.
Right, I know the motor's still high,
but I'm saying they don't necessarily have to open it. It could be just like preps. Like, it could be like they see Vegapunk's message and like this is a conversation. This conversation leads into Vegapunk's message where they see it, they're talking about it, and it's like, what should we do with this? They hear Vegapunk's message, and then it's like, now what do we decide to do type situation.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I'm not opposed to it. I don't know, because I will say I am having a hard time figuring out how exactly with the roadmap like the literal roadmap we know we have left of One Piece. I'm having a hard time figuring out how we circle back to Wano.
This is like the only way.
But
I don't necessarily think the Straw Hats have to circle back.
I know. I'm hoping that it's done really well. But like, to your point, Lynn, I almost feel like if they're going to do that, we might not see Pluton until Momo and Yamato.
Yeah.
Battle.
And and how do Momo and Yamato get there? They could come on Pluton. That could be Wano's battleship type situation.
Yeah, so I don't know. I have no clue where this is going to go, but I'm excited either way. I'm fine with it being Pluton. I'm fine with it being retiree adventures. You know, like,
I'm fine with it even being the adventures.
I'm just kind of glad we're getting back.
And honestly,
I love the cover story.
It doesn't have to that point. To Jazz's point, it doesn't have to be Pluton shit. It could just be us seeing stuff that Momo and Yamato do.
Like, which is fine with me too.
I don't necessarily need Pluton.
Like, the cover story doesn't really have to be serious until like maybe like the last like 2 or 3 panels of it.
Because I also do kind of want to know how Wano's getting back on its feet, because it needs to pretty quick.
Because that's mostly what my thought is. It's a Momo Yamato cover story. Yeah. Pluton's icing on the cake, but I just feel like it's those two.
I will just say again though, Oda wasn't as bad with this art though. It's real good. Like, it looks like a dope Ash Aquarium that you would see in like a villain's lair. I like it.
But this chapter starts off per usual. Like, I figured we wouldn't get right into the story of whatever. I feel like he had to set it up. 10 minutes is interesting because now versing that definitely gives a lot of credence to what you said in our last review about how the Straw Hats are going to have to help keep the recording going, especially with the Gorosei dropping in. It's like, damn, I wish this shit could have started, but it gives the Straw Hats something to do in this situation.
Yeah, it's like
then just run away.
I think at the end of like Halo Reach, where it's like the fun objective survive.
Yeah.
This is like
Mhm.
this is like a
For sure.
time trial from a video game.
Yeah, this is like they have to survive and allow the message to get survive, allow the message to get across, and then skate once the message gets across.
Yeah,
That's
which I
their
think-
video game
Yeah,
objectives.
They really got mission
Yeah.
objectives right now.
Legitimately, like, no, for sure.
Yeah,
For
which, you know,
sure.
I will say you can argue that like maybe the way it's going down, and also like how you know, how some of it's gotten kind of clunky or whatever. But let me ask you guys just in general, what's your opinion on the framing device? Because I would just say for me, I can see why people wouldn't like it, but I think it's one, a little funny, and two, I don't hate it, although I do agree it's kind of arbitrary. But I don't know, I think it's out of trolling a little bit, and I also think it makes total sense in the story for why you would want to make sure you don't want to start like spilling the beans right that second in case people haven't had time to get the broadcast.
Yeah, because
going.
if he was just like, oh, the name of the ancient kingdom is blah, 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 like, it's like so many people are gonna miss that. I feel,
Or not
so
know
it's
what
like,
the fuck he's even talking about.
yeah, exactly.
And
So
my
it's like,
thing
at least it's
is-
preparing people for it.
I'm not upset at the trope. Yes, he's done it before. Yes, it's something he relies on, but it works in story format due to the fact that this is not a technologically advanced civilization like ours, to where if someone famous tweeted, hey, we're going on live stream, the moment they click, it should start in our world. But this isn't our world. Everyone has to set
Well,
up accordingly for this. And this is the
even-
first time something
even
like
in-
this happened.
Even in our world, if I had like a giant multinational broadcast, I'd probably try and give it as much time as I could.
At least
before I
5
start rattling
minutes.
off the beans.
Yeah,
You know,
especially if you're about to say some shit that like exposes like
that
how
could
the
change
world works.
everything.
So like,
Yeah.
I would. Give
Yeah, I'm not
people
mad
time.
at it. I think people are over. What's the word I'm looking for? They're getting too mad at something that's trivial.
And
Like,
Yeah.
I feel
Also,
like-
it's like y'all knew he wasn't gonna.
yeah, we
like,
knew we weren't gonna get
dump
this
it
message
out,
the literal
you know?
next chapter. Like, there's no
Mhm.
way we were gonna do that.
He's never done that. Like, this is his storytelling format. Like, there's certain things he goes back to, and this is a well that he goes back to. He just does it different ways each time.
I prefer
It was the
this
bird
to
cage. It
and I
was the
prefer this to the
bombs.
fire oni. Yeah, like the giant fire thing. you know?
Like, exactly. So we've had it multiple different ways. To your point, I prefer this to the Wano one. Definitely.
The fire
Wano
only
one was the
Fire
worst
Only
one.
the fire only one was just annoying.
Birdcage made
Yeah.
sense. The
Yeah.
bombs I didn't fuck with. It was just like, let's give Yamato something to do. Whole
Mhm.
cake, it was, can we escape before Big Mom catches us? That one was okay. Like, this one actually makes sense.
But you see, the thing that I don't like, I feel like I wouldn't like this trope if they didn't give us the different perspectives of people all around.
Yes,
the world.
that I
feel
thought
like
was
Mhm.
great.
that
that
was
helps.
smart
Yeah,
to
you have to do that.
because you have like somewhere like you have somewhere where Dressrosa where like it looks like it's midday, but then you have Water 7 and
Where
it's like
Iceberg's
nighttime.
just waking up. Yeah,
yeah. So it's like you need to give people time that are waking up or about to go to bed or like, you know what I'm saying? They might be doing stuff and it shows like all the different, like even
Mhm.
Morgan's says it later in this chapter, like, look at the clock. Like it's not the same time. Like it's pre-recorded. So
Mhm.
that was smart. I don't know. Shaka was tripping. Shaka was
Yeah.
talking about an hour.
An hour. Now that'd have been crazy. Now,
Yeah,
that-
no,
tripping.
dude. If
That-
it was an hour, we would have left Elbaf with that bitch running.
And like
You
the
know?
thing is, it's like to y'all's point, this had to happen to where it makes the trope more believable because it's like we see everyone we've grown a relationship with be like, oh, this is important. We all need to pay attention. And the fact that everyone's saying, oh, whoa, Dr. Vegapunk is talking on top of the Gorosei's reaction to like, oh, we have to go there. It shows how important what Vegapunk's about to say is truly.
Yeah, and for that matter, I just get a little pop off every time we get like a worldwide chapter.
Same.
You know,
I
like
do too.
don't-
Newspaper
'cause-
chapter. Yeah.
because we don't get it too much outside of that being almost like the entire arc, you know? Like,
Mhm.
so I just like that, and I'm fine with it.
And the fact that we've been around the world for majority of this arc just
Mhm.
shows how this is game changing type situation.
Yeah,
But
this is
man, it
Egghead
pisses
Plus.
me off that we see the Revs just chilling and we got
Yeah.
5 Gorosei and Egghead. It's like, oh, not only did you have a chance to kill one Gorosei, brother, there's 5 there now. What the fuck are y'all doing?
You know what? Not even, you know what? Even if Dragon could go there, or even if he couldn't, I will say one thing. The thing that pisses me off about Dragon is the fact
He in the same
that
pose
he-
every time.
he shows no emotion. But you know what? In this chapter, he is facing the West. He's done something. But it's like, man, did he really think that Vegapunk telling him he was about to die was really a joke?
Like,
thinking about
brother,
that.
and
Like,
it
did he
pisses
really
me
think
off.
that was the joke?
It shows how stupid he is. It shows he's not
Wow.
smart enough to even understand. Oh, Vegapunk's just fucking around with me. No, motherfucker. When this fucker tells you something, you need to fucking listen. And oh man, the Dragon fans, we gotta stop coping. Someone said because of the lines are moving super speed, that's
He's
Dragon
moving.
taking off. Come on, brother. Come
Dude,
on.
if
on,
that were
brother.
the case, I think they would have showed his ass on a ship.
This
You
is
know what I
about
mean?
to be.
Like,
This is about to
it's-
be
Either that, or,
gory.
Say
either that, or they
Kamabaka
would have
Kingdom.
showed. Either that, or they would have showed the reaction of the Revs being like, "Dragon's
Man,
moving." Like,
this
you know
is
what I mean?
about
Yeah.
to be Luffy, Dory, Broggy, Sanji, and maybe Zoro / Jinbei about to fight these 5 motherfuckers.
And that giant robot. Don't forget about the
yeah.
AOL connection.
Yeah,
So-
him there as well.
I don't
So
even
you know
know.
what? Why don't we hurry up and like get to that real quick? So you guys think that is the Gorosei they're hopping in?
Yeah, I think that's
Oh, for
them.
sure.
Yeah, I
For
think that's them.
sure.
I don't think there's
Yeah.
no one else.
Yeah, I think it kind of has to be, but I will say I'm amazed. Oda has gotten feisty in his old age. He's just
It's-
pushing it. You know?
It's time, man. Like Oda said,
Yeah,
we've held this back for so long. Like it makes sense
yeah.
to. It shows how important. Again, like y'all said, we went around the world. It shows we saw everybody being like, "Whoa, this is Vegapunk." It shows that this is important. Like this is really important. What Vegapunk's about to do. We need to stop this, and we can't rely on Saturn and Kizaru. All of us need to be there. All of us.
the fact that, like, I keep thinking about this the more that this happens, because this was completely left field for me. I did not think that all 4 Gorosei,
Yeah, I didn't think that either.
All 5 Gorosei were going to be on the board, like, for this Egghead incident. But that also has me questioning, what are the God Knights gonna look like when we get to them?
Yeah,
Because even they still even we haven't seen a silhouette or like
To
even
me-
like what they're thinking at this point. Like,
To
it's
me,
crazy.
their thoughts with them is that's the fight, that's the combatants for the Revs. That's how I'm truly looking at
Yeah.
them now. Like we haven't seen them because when the final war starts, whatever the Revs are doing are going to do, they are the ones that are stopping the Revs from doing what they're trying to do.
Yeah, like the Revs might do one last siege of
Marijois, and they're
because
protecting
I've
it.
always
Yeah,
felt the
type
God
shit.
Knights are a defensive force. That being
Yeah.
said, I say that I never thought that we'd see the Gorosei fucking get summoned out their old man house.
Look, hey,
So that's
the-
on the very
again, it goes to say Vegapunk saying this means that much. And I always said when we first started reviewing this arc, Oda said this is the arc that changes the world. And I mean, he
did
this is the
say-
incident. Like,
he did say who's fighting who, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Which, so I mean, yeah,
this is the incident that changes the world. We're seeing why it's so important. Again, I keep saying it, but whatever Vegapunk's about to say, it's so important that all 5 of them had to be there to stop this shit.
But you know, I also feel like
Because
with the
their objective
timetable-
isn't for Luffy. Their objective is to
Yeah.
stop this within 10
I mean,
minutes.
I feel like if they could also crush Nika.
Oh yeah, that's like
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
okay. So
So,
I'll keep using the
actually-
video game comparison. Their main mission is to stop the broadcast, but they get a bonus points if they can destroy Luffy too.
So actually, that brings up a good point, real quick. Well, Jazz, say your thing, and then I'll just ask because it's
No,
a theory going
I would-
around, and I'd like your take on it.
No, I was just saying, like, I feel like this is actually not a bad time to introduce all the forms of the Gorosei, because I feel like with the
Mhm.
timetable we're on, we can't really focus on like a Gorosei being like a main antagonist for like
True.
Yeah,
like,
they're
a
not going to
big,
show up to
like,
Elbaf.
It allows
yeah,
it.
like,
It
so-
allows it for them to have characterization. So when we see them again for the final fight, it makes their
Yeah,
characters
like,
that much
Saturn,
stronger
like
because
Saturn
we got to know
makes-
them.
Like Saturn makes sense for this because he's directly connected
Science,
with
yeah.
Bonnie and Kuma and Vegapunk, but
Not
I don't
everyone's
really
gonna get
know-
their arc, yeah, like that.
Yeah, so I feel like
Mhm.
most of them are just assholes. Like Saturn's an asshole for a different reason, but like most of them are just assholes, like just outright. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like what I
So-
wouldn't want them to do is I wouldn't want for the final saga for them to turn into, I don't know how much you guys know about Kingdom Hearts, like Organization 13, where they're like
Oh
a
my
cloaked
God,
figure
yeah.
who hangs out.
Yeah.
Like in
Each
Elsa World or
arc has like
whatever.
each Gorosei like has a spot where we have to
I
battle
wouldn't
them. To get
really
the, yeah, no, me neither.
super want that.
one of the
you know?
Gorosei comes out and he's like, got it memorized.
It just
Oh,
allows
yeah,
for
right.
us to have
Dance,
contact
water, dance.
to give them characterization. So when we see them again, it makes sense why they're this strong or why they're like this or whatever they are. It gives us time to get to know them. Just like
All
when
right.
Kaido fell from the sky and we saw him deal with Kid and those people before we fought Kaido. Granted, this is much bigger than that, but Oda does this sort of thing with our villains before we get. He did it with Doflamingo too. Shit.
So what do you guys think? Let's talk about those two objectives you were talking about.
Mhm.
And I know we're kind of skipping over the fight, but we can talk about that later. But for
I
the
mean,
most part,
it's just a fight.
yeah, it's fun. But
Like-
so what do you think about the two objectives? One, do they succeed in stopping all or part of the message? And two, is Luffy getting captured? People think Luffy's about to get captured.
I don't buy that. I don't buy Luffy gets captured, but I think half the message plays. I think this is a way for Oda not to
Reveal
jazz
too much.
to reveal everything. Yes, this is the
Yeah.
way for
But
him.
if he's gonna hurry up and just sploosh it out, is now not because
Like,
what
I
is
feel
going to happen in the final battle?
But to
You
your
know?
point, it's like, okay, there's so much he has to say. I think only something partially, like, I think it's only going to be something that riles up the world to where the revolutionaries have a purpose, but I don't think it's the full story that Luffy's going to learn at Laugh Tale.
Like, I feel like
situation.
if he does get his message, the first thing he has to get out is what Professor Clover couldn't, and then after that, I'm cool if they cut off.
If they cut it, yeah, because it makes sense
like-
for us to still have shit to know when we come to Laugh Tale.
Yeah, and well, let me say this though. I do think that if they somehow manage to get the broadcast, I still think everyone on Egghead might know though.
like,
I think it might.
Oh,
be-
that's possible. I'm not mad
Yeah,
at that either.
Which I will say, I think if he cuts it, I think that's part of the reason why Big News Morgans is there or the internet thing is there. Because I think somebody who's relatively close to that might still get the full story, and then they have to switch to newspapers to get the rest of it out.
That's possible.
Remember the
In
last
which case,
time
the
we got
Straw Hat crew
newspaper,
might have to
like-
protect fucking Morgans and them.
My
Yeah.
thing is, I'm just like, okay, so I always when we were doing this, it's like, okay, so if they find out the stuff that was on the poneglyphs at Laugh Tale, if they find all of this out now, then is the final war before Laugh Tale? Because I go back to Rayleigh saying y'all may make a different decision than we did.
Mhm.
I still think going to Laugh Tale has to be the thing that triggers Luffy at least to join the final war. For the final war to be like, okay, the Straw Hats are moving on the government officially. I think it's whatever's at Laugh Tale's first. I think this
Well,
might spurn it
let me
on.
ask, do you think the final war is at Marijoy, or do you think it's a Laugh Tale? Or like the Red Line?
I think it's at the Red Line. I think Laugh Tale's a Luffy personal mission type shit. And then once the Laugh Tale thing happens, it's like, okay, now we have to go to the spot for the final war.
Well, I don't disagree with you, but I feel like the final war is more likely to be at more likely to be at Laugh Tale, even though I think Marijoy makes more sense for the world. But we also have to keep in mind Luffy's personal quest is the quest. And I think Oda has said, no, that might change. And it's not going to be 1-to-1 because he only gave a snippet. Oda's always maintained, to my knowledge, that once we find Laugh Tale, the story kind of is going to end pretty quick after that.
See,
But then again, what does quick mean to Oda, a man who thought the
Mm.
story was going to be over in like 5
Because
years?
my thing is,
Yeah.
do you think Eam moves? Because it's like, if Eam's not leaving that spot, we got to go there.
Well, I mean, I didn't think
We
the
see the
Gorosei are
Gorosei
going to move
move.
en masse,
True.
so surely
True.
Ian must be able to as well.
It just depends on how much Eam values whatever's
mean,
on Laugh Tale.
I will
Like, it
say
depends what Laugh Tale can do.
We said that the Wano folks might catch a ride on Pluton. I mean, we don't know where the fuck, Uranus is.
Yeah,
We
this
all
is-
think
And what
it's
it does,
We think it's I think everyone thinks it's probably what the Mother Flames
it
attached
could
to.
be Laugh Tale
No, I
because
mean,
it goes.
he could always ride on Uranus to go destroy
It
Laugh
goes,
Tale.
it goes back to that theory that everyone had that on Laugh Tale, there's a button that if you push it destroys the red line type shit.
Mhm.
If something like that's there, well, Eam could pop up and the war could take place
Which
there.
I always think Luffy's just gonna punch through that bitch.
But my question is, if the war's on Laugh Tale, and it takes road poneglyphs to get there, how does everyone that needs to get there get there? To me, the battle on Laugh Tale should be between Blackbeard and Luffy type situation, and then we join the Revs and everyone else to go fight the government wherever that is.
Yeah, well, I guess
'Cause
the only thing about that is that must mean that whatever, which I mean, I don't know. Roger laughed, so I don't know if that'd be a case. I think I have different theories about what's going to be at Laugh Tale, but I
Mhm.
don't know what could be at Laugh Tale right now that would make Luffy want to go smack down on Eam, a person he doesn't personally know. But and there still has to be a Kainu fight somewhere in there.
And
I don't
that again, and that's why I'm like
Yeah.
the final battle. I think Laugh Tale is a thing that has to be for Luffy and Blackbeard.
Well, the
situation.
thing that confuses me is when Rayleigh's like, "Y'all might come to a
The
different
different
answer."
conclusion,
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's like
and
when he says that, it's like I have to believe that is the cause that
of
creates
whatever
the
makes
effect of
Luffy
the
go.
final
Yeah,
war.
yeah.
But,
Facts.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
again, like you could be
he's so
wrong.
much like Roger. I think it's still going to make him kind of laugh. I think there just might be more stuff attached to it, especially once Robin.
I mean,
gets
it
her eyes
could
on
be
it.
he could
Mhm.
laugh because of how cool and like Luffy, for what we know from Roger. I wanted to be, wish I could have been alive in your time, Joy Boy. It could
Yeah.
be he laughs at how cool the person of Joy Boy is, but Luffy might not find funny what happened to Joy Boy because just because Roger laughed and said he wanted to meet Joy Boy, that doesn't mean that whatever happened to him, he's cool with type situation.
Yeah.
So
I
that
agree.
and to Jazz's point, I hang my cap on what Rayleigh said. Like Rayleigh wouldn't have told them that whatever y'all might come to a different conclusion than
But
us.
then at the same,
That
but then
means
at the
that's
same
important.
point, but then at the
Yeah.
same time, we've seen Luffy like literally not care about like
Certain
people's
things, yeah,
past.
sure.
So it's like he's more so of like what where are we going next? I mean, maybe how the crew feels about it. Maybe
That could
they'll kind of persuade Luffy to do
Also,
it.
whatever happened was said,
But
it could affect people that he cares about. Like whatever
Yeah.
is said could affect Shirahoshi, because let's not forget she's Poseidon. She's alive now. Let's not forget that Vivi is one of the last remaining relatives of Lily. Whatever is said there could affect people that he cares about, thus triggering him to do something.
No, I totally agree. And I mean, ultimately, Luffy is
For
going
sure.
to care one way or another because, like, this is also the one thing that he said, like, you know, I want my journey to be unsullied. You know,
Mhm.
if you start talking to me about what you saw or whatever, I'm going to leave and I might even quit it.
And
my
that
whole
makes
journey.
me think to that point, him saying that makes me think we're not gonna find out everything right now.
I mean,
Like
Yeah, but I think there's a different way you could be like, you know, I think there's a bunch of information that could be different. And also for all we know, and I'm gonna say this, I don't think like necessarily Luffy's gonna get captured, but for all we know, he might not be in his right mind to hear it, or he might just see
because he's
it, or-
fighting, he might not be able to hear it. But if the crew
That's
knows, that's another thing of he doesn't
Yeah,
want
'cause-
them to know.
because
But
yeah, I think he's fine with the crew knowing as long as they don't tell him.
But again, to our point we said last time, okay, so Clover knew the most, but Clover didn't know what Roger and Rayleigh found out.
Mhm.
Like Clover knows a tiny piece, and to what Jazz said a couple minutes ago, Vegapunk is telling possibly what Clover knew, like,
'Cause, like, at
which
the end
could
of the
not
day-
be everything.
Because at the end of the day, like, to be completely fair, the people who actually posed the most threat to the world government were the Roger
Roger
because
Pirates,
they
yes.
knew everything.
Mhm.
But at the same time, like, Professor Clover had a theory, and I went back and I looked at that scene, and it's like before he even said it, because they weren't sure if he knew or not, but they were gonna eliminate
Yeah, they
him
capped him.
just
Mhm.
in case he knew
Mhm.
something. So it's like Vegapunk is doing this off of a theory.
Of
I
a
mean,
theory, yep.
and Vegapunk is he's a lot more intelligent,
Smarter than
Clover,
Clover.
obviously.
Yeah, facts.
But at the same
And also,
time,
but
they
keep in
don't know
mind,
for
he
sure.
can also link it to stuff that Clover never could, like
Oh
like,
yeah, theory.
Devil
He
Fruit.
could
Yeah.
he
You know what
could
I mean? Like,
pose links and
Vegapunk could
connections.
be the theory crafter who's been in the lab this whole time, crafting the mega theory.
Because
you
they
know?
did say he was researching the
Mhm.
ancient kingdom, and his research could have connected Clover's theories to new things. But
And I still
again,
maintain that one of the first things he's going to talk about is like, we used to be more advanced than we are. The government is purposely crushing tech to keep us at this level, and they're making us stagnate.
and see if
and we
it's that, and if it's that,
Yeah.
that's perfect because that's
You know,
nothing
I don't
for
think
us.
that. Yeah, and
That-
I don't think
that-
that's the
that-
only thing, but I think that's the
If
least
that
part,
if
so.
that's the
And-
major
yeah.
thing, that's nothing. That affects Luffy's story in no way.
And
It's
we
like
see in
we
this
have to
chapter,
go.
and we see in this chapter, like, people respect Vegapunk. They're like, Vegapunk, the man who brought light to the
Mhm.
world. And it's like, yo, there's probably like somebody out there with like a refrigerator.
And if
Oh,
he
they
says
literally
that-
said,
made it.
look, they literally said about his dumb
And-
head is, look, his mind's so sharp it cut itself.
And if he says
know,
that or something
were
along
glazing him.
those lines, what Verson was saying, that's enough to spur people to start to get along with the Revolutionary Army. But it also allows for the Gorosei to be like, whew, the full story's not out there. And it gives them
Right.
purpose to stop Luffy when Luffy knows the full story.
Hey man, y'all think this robot on the way? I think it's time.
It has to be. It better be.
I think it's time.
Because look, no matter what, look, I know our guy's a Yonko, and I definitely think he could have took out Saturn and Kizaru, but this is 5 of them. He needs some help. Like, let's be real. This is 5 of them.
Like,
like
and I think
Saturn's
maybe, like,
region is making me respect him more, and the fact that
Yeah.
he probably him
and Luffy didn't do no damage yet, and I
Yeah,
know
that's
he's
what I'm
using
saying, his
Conqueror
region-
stuff.
his region, and also the fact that it's very likely that he's him. The others probably have fought Nika before, so he might
Mhm.
like how he knew how to spin on the boomerang thing.
And come backwards. Yep, he
Yeah.
has experience.
He's got a
so
couple skills.
our
Even if
guy
he's not
needs-
starting
Look,
Luffy, he
all
can
I'm
do stuff.
saying is,
Our guy needs help.
Luffy. I don't care if it breaks the fourth wall. Luffy needs to break out a Kamehameha. Show them niggas something they never seen before.
Look, also
Gum
theory.
Gum or Singon.
I could see Dory and
love
Broggy,
that.
which could lead us into Elbaf and having a somber moment in Elbaf, and how we've been seeing in chapters before. It's the old generation pushing the young generation forward. I could see Dory and Broggy sacrificing themselves this chapter to get Luffy to
Oh,
Elbaf.
well, then there you go. That explains everything. Dragon thinks he's one of the kids. That's why he feels like it's still his time.
Fuck that guy. I'm not- I
Dragon's
am
not ready to
salty.
peak.
But
He's
look,
not ready to have
I'm
a
telling
midlife
y'all,
crisis.
serious. I could see Dory and Broggy sacrificing themselves for Luffy and them to get away. I could see them saying, "Y'all go on ahead. We will hold off the Gorosei as long as we can." Type situation.
I wouldn't mind it
With
but
the-
I
with
hope
the
it's
giant
I hope it's a
robot.
good one. I hope it's a real fucking good one if they do it though.
Oh
And
yeah, that would be like one of the best
I would hate
battles
for
of the
them to be
series.
summoned again after such a long absence to just be like, and now it's time for us to die for you.
Oh no, they die in
Yeah.
a glorious manner. They're going to Valhalla, baby.
Like I hope it's the same way that Bon Clay sacrificed to himself at
Mhm.
Impel Down for
Yeah.
Luffy to go.
Oh
save him.
yeah, and like
hope
I
it's
think
like of
the
that
Gorosei
caliber.
like lose limbs. I don't think they come out to fight the same way if Dory like I want like I'm not gonna say they kill one of them. I would love for one of them to die, but like if some of them lose limbs, they come back disfigured. Like they remember the giants, Dory and Broggy.
Yeah, those are Usopp Smashers after all. Hey, by the way, do you guys think that do you think Kizaru and Zoro have the same like guy they go to for their asthma? You know,
Stop
like the
it,
same
brother.
inhaler.
Stop
dealer.
it, brother.
The same ear, nose, and throat
Look,
doctor. Yeah,
Kizaru
Yeah.
took an L this chapter. That's what I'm gonna say. He took a
Dude.
fat L.
I literally saw on Twitter today or whatever because I think Othra mentioned it. It's been 6 months or like a year or whatever IRL since Zoro and Kizaru started Zoro and like Luffy started
Yo,
fighting.
that's still on this song. Leave that man alone.
The
He's not in
Fire
this
Emperors are
chapter.
here. We're past Lucci.
He's
now.
probably leaving. So Jinbei just went get him. It's over. Like let's
I'm
let's,
sorry.
Let's wait
I'm
and
sorry.
see.
If we go back, if after this break we go back to Zoro versus Lucci and they're still fighting,
I'll
we
let you
might
give
need
it to him.
We
I'll
might
let you
need to
give
have
it
a
to him.
conversation.
I'll
We
let
might
y'all.
need to have
I'll
a
let y'all
conversation.
shit on him then. If we come back from break and they are still fighting, I'll let y'all go off
Because
on them.
because
But
the
until
thing is,
then, we gotta keep it. We gotta keep
because
it.
the thing is, I saw people like, and they were good theories. You know, I would absolutely love for Luffy, Sanji, Zoro, and Jinbei to all fight the Gorosei with.
That's what
Dory
I'm
Broggy.
thinking with
But
Dory
it's a
Broggy.
little, too much. And also, I'm like, Zoro just got done fighting Lucci. He's not gonna be at 100%.
He gonna be there.
even
He
if
not-
he.
But that's why
like,
you. That's why you have
also-
all of them. You have the robot,
Well,
Luffy,
I was gonna
Zoro,
say, is the
Sanji,
robot taking
Jinbei.
one? Because
So this is how I viewed it. There's 5 of them.
yes,
Dory and Broggy take one. The robot takes one. Luffy takes one. And Sanji, Jinbei, and Zoro take one together. I think all 3 of them.
Ooh,
take
that-
one.
I would
don't
actually
think-
like that.
I don't think that. I mean, I don't hate it.
Is
but
that a
make
bad
it-
look?
Well, I mean, just our 3 sub Luffy all gotta take one, and then the
what the-
nameless faceless robot gets.
Okay.
one back.
Well, look, the robot
I
and one of
don't-
look,
I don't know.
the robot and Jinbei, Zoro and Sanji fight together. The robot and Jinbei fight together, and then Zoro and Sanji fight together.
Yeah, that's
You
fair.
you could split it up.
That's fair.
It doesn't have to be all
Yeah,
3.
That's fair.
All right, and again, we're saying Luffy
Takes
not
one-
being captured.
Takes one by.
No, yeah, I don't
and
think
he's
he can
still.
capture.
I assume he's gonna just continue to fight Saint Jay because that's who's already fighting.
That's who I keep. That's who I keep him with. Zoro
Also-
and Sanji fight either young man
Weird Sanji.
Sanji or
Yeah,
Sword Man.
yeah.
Hey man, he gonna hit him with that equity slash.
You know
He's
what?
not gonna know what
Actually,
hit him.
yeah. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna say this. I think if Dory and Broggy do fight, I think Sanji and Zoro will fight the exact same way that they do. So if it's like a 2v1 or 2v1 because they're already literal mirrors and have been since
Yep.
they're introduced.
And
So
it would be
if
if
great
Dorian
if they
Bragi
fought
get
together.
1v1, Sanji and Zoro will get a 1v1.
Okay, all right. I'm not mad
Because
at that.
I do think the big three that we got should be about a giant level at this point. Like giants are great and amazing, but they're mostly overwhelming to normal ass people. If you're fighting an Amuro or Yonko, being a giant shouldn't be like overwhelming. I mean, we saw what having one amazing giant does for you.
But
Like Wars
they're the
Jr.
strongest
and Marineford.
giants.
Yeah,
They're Dorian Bragi. We can assume are the tippity top of
They're like
what
the
a
cream of
giant
the
could
crop.
be. Yeah, like the best giants. So
and I do want to clarify the main reason why I'm against some people's theory, which I don't hate in a certain direction of Luffy getting captured and Elbath turning into a training arc for the Shrouds because I think they need it. I just don't think Oda would take Luffy out of the story that long.
also,
And
it doesn't make
two,
sense
Luffy
narratively
needs
wise.
to be there. Luffy needs to be there to hang out because he loves Elbath at the very least.
Like even like to me from a story structure point, it's like, oh, people are saying because Law and Kid got captured, Luffy
Well,
should
I
be
didn't. I
captured.
haven't
No,
mostly
no.
seen people because of Law and Kid because that's bringing those two names
For
up to
me,
is just pure agenda.
For me, story wise, it's like Luffy experienced that moment already in Saba Odi.
Yeah,
Those
yeah.
guys needed to experience that to grow. Luffy is a Yonko. We are past that now. This is Luffy's arc to show why he's a Yonko and why he doesn't get captured. So when he meets Shanks, it's like, oh, you are the pirate that you promised to be. This is the arc that shows Luffy can go meet Shanks. Like this
Yeah,
is the
or-
arc that gives him that pass.
I'm not even gonna lie, bro. After this arc, Luffy gets out of this after beating with a 5 Gorosei and deal with a Buster Call and all this other shit. Luffy's the shit.
Yeah, it's like it's
dead
time.
ass, like,
It's time for me to meet Shanks and my crew. It's ready for post my crew getting a little bit more training. It's time for us to fight Blackbeard.
Well,
But the
I'll
main,
be honest, the only
it's
person
time.
in the crew that needs like a power up is Usopp. Everybody else
mean,
is fine, I think.
I mean, I think the whole bottom.
I think the bottom half.
is
Yeah,
really-
I think our top four are the strong.
Yeah,
some of the
they're
strongest
good.
top
I'd say-
four in the story.
I'd
But
say
I think
top 4 plus Robin really
Yeah,
showed good
because
work.
I could think
Don't get me
Robin
wrong,
could
she could
hang
use
her
some
own
help,
against
but yeah.
Katarina Devon, but I do think she needs some. I would love Robin to at least get hockey, like armament hockey, just
Well,
to.
again, can I just say real quick? People keep saying the Shrouds don't know hockey, Shrouds don't know hockey. I still maintain that just because we don't see it shown as much screen, I think some of them have at least some hockey somehow or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Mhm.
And maybe that's cap for me. I just feel like the hand-to-hand
it-
fighters probably know some. It might not be much to speak about.
I think it's like that's why we need to, in my opinion, meet with Shanks's crew before, because Blackbeard's crew is the Devil Fruit crew. Shanks's crew, for the most we know, is the hockey crew, and Luffy's crew is going to be a mixture of the both, showing why this is the right way to live. And if some of Luffy's people could train with Shanks's people or train with the Giants, learn some things that can help them against Blackbeard's crew, I think we could say Luffy, Sanji, Zoro, Jinbei, Robin, they're good. If Robin could get a little more cool,
I think
if
her
not,
learning from the Giants on how to maintain
would help.
power more
Yeah.
and how to actually
Yeah,
use
yeah.
it instead of just squashing
I think
people.
that would help her a lot. I think she could use that, but I think she is the one that's the closest to the four in terms of being ready to fight Blackbeard. I think Frankie, Brooke, Nami, Chopper, Usopp need to hit the gym. All of them.
Yeah.
Need to hit the gym.
Yeah, Chopper needs to do more Monster Point shit
take some
just like
stuff from
Robin.
here,
Or
actually.
well, hit the mechanic shop. Either way, he
Yeah.
gotta hit something.
Yeah, Frankie needs to steal stuff from here and also needs to get some more of that Atom Wood.
He
'Cause that's
gotta
in the Land of Giants.
He gotta hit the gym. Frankie gotta hit the gym. Brooke gotta hit the gym. Chopper gotta hit the gym, and and Usopp definitely gotta hit the
Which
gym.
that reminds me, by the way, Lynn, real quick, because I think maybe we talked about it on a review or not, or maybe I was just talking to Jazz about it. Do you think that whenever it comes down to it, Nami, Chopper, and Usopp are gonna have like a team fight versus their three? Because I think that's kind of where we're going now with that, the bottom three versus.
I can see Nami and Chopper having a team fight. I think Usopp has to have a solo fight.
Yeah,
And
I
all
mean,
of them.
don't get me wrong. I think they're all going to be fighting in roughly the same area. I don't think it's necessarily going to be like the most team fight around. But and also, I'm sorry, Lynn. I think that's you maybe just really wanting that rather than what we've been shown.
What, thinking me wanting a 1v1?
Well, yeah.
I
'cause, like,
just-
don't get me wrong. Like, I'm fine with them being a 1v1 too, but like, if it's going to be a duo, it's not going to be like Nami and Chopper duo.
I just
it's going to
think
be
that
Usopp and Nami again.
I just think that what we've shown, if Usopp wants to be a great warrior of the sea, his dream, I think that's why we're getting a lot of Van Auger stuff right now, building him up. It's like, Usopp, you can't keep you have to do this by yourself, brother.
But
Like
dude,
if you want to
every
be
time,
a great warrior, you gotta do it by yourself.
almost every one of Usopp's fights, though, literally have part of someone who's stronger
And
than him saying, "You
and
don't have
that's
to do it
why
alone."
he
We
hasn't
had it with
accomplished
number
his
4
dream.
with Chopper.
I think
Ben,
all of that
you're-
shows why he
You were
hasn't
coming
accomplished
at
his dream left.
you were coming at One Piece with a blue lock mentality. All right, we do
No,
team
but-
fights here.
But see,
All
I don't.
right?
But see,
We
I
get
think
the
that
dubs. However, we got to get the dubs.
I
all
think
right?
that shows because everyone who Usopp considers a brave warrior of the sea fights by themselves. Everyone, Luffy,
Luffy doesn't have to
Sanji.
fight by himself.
But I mean, for
Not
the most
always.
part, you know, brother, come on. Like my man, and when it came down to it, he fought Kaido by himself. Sanji fought Queen by himself. Zoro fought King by himself. Like everyone that Usopp considers brave does this. It's like, I think for him to be that guy, he needs to take the Van Auger challenge alone. I do. I really believe that. I personally wouldn't like the other way.
All
You know
right,
what?
well,
I would
sorry,
actually
tell me
like
this.
it if like we would have like because like you got Van Auger and Blackbeard, and then you have Luffy and Usopp. So it's like maybe at some point Van Auger actually tries to interfere in the fight with Luffy and Blackbeard, but then you have Usopp intercepting it. So it is kind of like there. So like Usopp plays into his role as a support, but then that would kind of divulge into him having his 1v1. Because at the end of the day, I don't really feel like the only thing is like I just need more Usopp screen time. Like I don't need Usopp to be like stupid strong, but I do need to see more of his sniping prowess and more of his
And him to
prowess
do
as
some
a
stuff.
support
Yeah,
character.
I'm
You know
not
what I'm
mad
saying?
at that. I
Yeah,
want
I-
Usopp to get his shine. Like
I feel like Usopp is shown to be like very, very good at what he does, but mostly as in like whenever we saw in the first start of like the Redono Gashima where he got those guys in a second and it didn't matter. You know, like his utility is off the charts, but whenever it comes down to his 1v1 fights, he lacks.
he can't do
Yeah,
it. And like
he needs the ammo, the attack.
and
power.
I think when he goes to Elbaf, it's like he can get that stuff. Like if he gets a Mjolnir, if he gets a boost from Loki, whatever he gets there, that's gonna be the thing that tips the scales for himself. That
Also,
with his
Lin-
observation blooming.
Lynn, I do gotta talk about one thing though, because one of Usopp's most consistent lies is that he leads an army of 8,000 men. Like
I wouldn't
Usopp
be mad if he
always,
gets if my thing is
And
if he's
shown to
leading
like
a group of
Luffy.
people, if he's leading a group of people, I'm not mad at that. If that's him leading people and that's his fight, cool. But I don't think for him to be, I don't think he should rely on any of the other Straw Hats in
No,
this. I
I
think he
mean-
has to do it himself.
And again, Lynn, one of the biggest things we've seen with Usopp is like the best thing he did in Water 7, I mean, instead of Enies Lobby, was turning Oimon and Kashi to fight with the Straw Hats instead of, against them. As whenever he turned to the
But
two
that's
giants.
not him. But that's him doing that.
But that's
not
like
him
his
relying on-
strongest power is his ability to lie and talk to people. It's way
But that's
stronger
why
than
he's not a.
support.
But that's why he believes he's not a brave warrior yet. Like I just think for him to be what he
Well,
wants himself to be, he's
He
got to
might
do
have
this.
he might have to learn a stronger definition of what it is to be a brave warrior, and maybe I know he wants to be a brave warrior, but maybe it might just be a lesson on a brave warrior is whoever fucking wins, however they have to win.
Maybe. But I want my
But
guy
no,
to get stronger.
I do want him to get stronger, and I do want him to mostly have a solo win against Van Auger. I'm just saying I don't think it's going to be cut and dry sniping battle. The more that
Y'all
we
say
talk
y'all.
about.
Oh, I
say
don't
y'all want him to get
necessarily need that.
stronger. Y'all say y'all want him to get stronger. I just want him to have more panel time, bro.
Yes,
like
me too.
where's this nigga at?
he needs
Like,
it.
you know
He
what I'm
needs all
saying?
of that. Like I agree. I agree with that. He needs all of that. So all right, well that's pretty much everything for this week. Jazz, tell the people they can follow you on social media.
Before we go, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people was doubting my GOAT. A lot of people was doubting Luffy as a Yonko, but you remember the last Yonko who was in a 1v5? Well, actually, it was a 2v5, but Big Mom was playing support. Kaido was the last Yonko in a 1v5, right? Now Luffy in a 1v5. Don't y'all ever talk about my GOAT again. Look. I promise y'all.
Hey.
I promise y'all. Don't y'all talk about my GOAT. Look, look, we
Hey,
all got one.
yeah.
We all got one. Look, whatever you want to call it, Luffy piece, monkey D piece. I don't care. This is the
Facts.
network's GOAT.
Facts. That's a fact.
You better know
That's a
that.
fact. That's
You better
a
know
fact.
that.
Oh, and I do want to quickly also bring up one thing about Luffy Jonko status. And obviously it wasn't a fight, and I'd love to slander him real quick, but we simply do not have the time for the Shanks slander. But
Leave him alone.
but the last time we saw somebody like hang out with the Gorosi or whatever and talk to them was Shanks as a goat, like as a Yonko. I do think this also shows that like Luffy is going to become someone who the Gorosi have to respect, to where if he decided I want an audience with the real people who rule the world, they can't just try and jump him and capture him. They have to let him.
You gotta respect him.
Unimpeded on the Marijoa, talk to them, and then bounce.
And see, again, just hammering in my point of when we leave this thing, it's time for him to meet Shanks. He's there. And why I don't think he's gonna get captured, and why version I'm with you that those theories suck, because if he can do this, it's time to go. It's time to go. Like, if he gets captured, who's saving him?
Yeah,
like, what are we doing? Like,
the only other time a Yonko has canonically gotten captured or whatever
is Kaido.
Is Kaido, who let himself be captured because he was hungry.
Mm-hmm.
It was very important that we told him that. So if Luffy is a Yonko, which we all agree he is,
he ain't getting captured.
Also, it's like, if I want to, like, also if we do have like another jailbreak like arc, I would rather that be the Cross Guild, because there's more people that are in jail that would be more synonymous with
or we do the Ace part. I would prefer Ace part 2.
Do Sabo again.
I would just say if it's, I would much prefer that to Luffy. Like, I don't want Ace part 2. I do not.
Nah. Because
I don't want that.
Because even if Sabo do that, he would have got captured.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
Oda can't do Sabo getting captured. You want to know why?
Because Dragon not gonna move.
Whitebeard was a real father. Dragon not no real father. He not moving.
No, that's
Sabo.
true.
I promise you that.
You're right. No, you're
promise
right.
you that.
That's and the other reason we can't do that is because I simply don't believe there was a third brother to inherit that fruit.
Facts.
You know,
and
I just don't believe it.
That and Dragon let Kuma go. He gonna let Sabo go too. He just gonna find him a new second in command. He's known for letting.
Hey man, Dragon might be part Lunarian. The way all his dialogue is just dot. He's like king before Onigashima.
Maybe Dragon thinks he has telepathy, but he just never turned that shit on. Like maybe he thinks he's talking to people, but like in actuality, it's like, dude, you got to put yourself in all chat.
Oh man,
like turn your mic on, Dragon.
Dragon has been
not on,
slandered
Dragon.
a lot. All right, first, tell the people where they can follow you at on social media.
By the way, this confirms that the Vegapunks were all VTubers for the original Dr. Vegapunk. He wanted to have his different ones for whenever it was time to have this broadcast. Anyway, you can follow me at Verse in the Vassal pretty much anywhere. You can follow me at Josh Tuskler pretty much anywhere. Nothing really big happening, but we'll see you in the future.
Hell yeah. Make sure y'all go follow Verse and y'all follow Jazz. You can follow me at LimbWT. Follow Bros Who Think at Bros Who Think. Be sure to check out our video with Straw Hat for Life. That's out now by the time you guys hear this. Check out Anime Talk on Tuesday. Myself, Jazz will have that episode with a special guest of Jay. Yeah, bro. I was about to say his real name because I was looking at his Zoom thing. I was like, no. All right, but with Jay's
special guest John.
Jay will be joining us to talk on Anime Talk. Be sure to check out the review of Dune 2 with myself and Reg. Check out Bros Who Binge, Bros Who Think. A bunch of stuff on the network out right now. Be sure to check out all of that. But until next time, y'all have a good one and peace.